Good afternoon to all our dignitaries, colleagues, and most important of all, the participants. Was hoping to see more of them, and I'm sure they'll join during the session. Today we have convened here as a part of the second Akhil Bharatiya Sangam to celebrate the third anniversary of National Education Policy, NEP, and also to reflect on how far we have made it in this transformative journey. The futuristic and far-sighted NEP, introduced by India in 2020, lies at the heart of our efforts towards strengthening institutional capacity to embed lifelong learning in the education and skills ecosystem. NEP calls for interconnectedness of initiatives across formal, non-formal, and informal modes to make learning systems more holistic, multidisciplinary, and comprehensive to address diverse learning needs. Since the introduction of NEP, India has made significant strides in strengthening collaboration with diverse stakeholders, like a lot of you, including industries, academia, government agencies, and civil society, to articulate a vision for an agile policy to advance the adoption of lifelong learning interventions. This particular thematic this thread further by delving into a very interesting and vital aspect of NEP, that is the National Credit Framework, NCRF, the Academic Bank of Credits, ABC, and Apar. The launch of National Credit Framework, NCRF, underscores our endeavors towards recognizing efforts through credits, infusing flexibility in choice of qualifications, and rendering equivalence between academic and vocational domains in India. By doing so, NCRF aims to provide seamless mobility across domains and opens up multiple pathways for future progression of students so as to not limit their potentialities. Supplementing NCRF, in fact strengthening it, is a unique initiative of Apar, which serves as a registry for students and faculty by creating lifelong credentials for learning, and Academic Bank of Credits, ABC, an online storehouse or repository of academic training data that facilitates student mobility among higher education institutions through a formal process of credit recognition, accumulation, transfer, and redemption. In theory, this wholesome approach is expected to not only democratize learning, but also improve retention by promoting student-centered and customized self-paced learning by allowing multiple entries and multiple exits. But what about practice? Today, we have brought together an eclectic panel constituted by stalwarts and steered by our esteemed chair, Dr. Nirmaljeet Singh Kalsi, chairperson NCVT, to guide us through the gulf between theory and practice. Please, for the panel and the chair. Who better than them to walk us through the arduous journey between idea and actualization by being the bridge between thought and execution. With this, I would like to introduce the chair and panelists. They need no introduction, but you'll have to bear with me for another 2 minutes. The chair of the panel discussion, Dr. Nirmaljeet Singh Kalsi, is a member of the Indian Administrative Service, 1984 Punjab cadre. Dr. Kalsi is presently working as chairperson, NCVT, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, GOI. As chairperson of high-level committee, he contributed to the development of the National Credit Framework, enabling integration of academic and vocational and experiential learning, ensuring mobility between the two, multiple entry, multiple exit options, leading to lifelong learning. He has rich, diverse experience in policy, planning, and implementation of technical and vocational education and skilling. He will be steering the entire session. We welcome you, sir. Thank you for being the chair. Coming to the panelists, again, as I said, all stalwarts. I'll start with Professor Anil Sahasrabudhe, Chairman NETF. Professor Sahasrabudhe is Chairman of NETF, EC, NAC, and NBA. He was former chairman of AICTE, deputy director IIT Guwahati, and director of College of Engineering, Pune. He graduated in mechanical engineering from Karnataka University with gold medal by topping the university and did masters and PhD from IISc Bangalore. He is fellow and member of several professional societies. He has also represented India on several international forums. We welcome you, sir. Shri Abhishek Singh is a career civil servant with 27 years of experience of governance and policy formulation. He specializes in use of technology for improving governance. In his role as President and CEO, National E-Governance Division, and MD and CEO of Digital India Corporation, he has steered major Digital India initiatives, including projects in the field of artificial intelligence and emerging technologies. He has done Masters in Public Administration from Harvard Kennedy School of Government. He is also an alumnus of IIT Kanpur. We welcome you, sir. Professor Yogesh Singh is the 23rd VC of the University of Delhi and Chairman NCTE. Previously, he has held the position of Vice Chancellor DTU and the Director of Netaji Subhas Institute of Technology, NSIT. Professor Singh has an impressive track record of quality teaching, innovation, and research in the area of software engineering and has supervised 23 PhDs. He has more than 250 publications in international and national journals and conferences. Sir, hearty welcome to you. Dr. S. Vaidya Subramaniam is the Vice Chancellor and Tata Sons Chair Professor of Management, Sastra University, Thanjavur, an alumnus of Harvard Business School with interest in public policy and higher education management. He also has rich corporate experience and has previously worked with Siemens, Meralco, and Johnson & Johnson. As member of various academic bodies and boards, he is also an expert advisor on institution building, curriculum planning, and corporate excellence. Thank you for being with us, sir. He has come all the way from Tamil Nadu. Professor Dinesh Prasad Saklani is presently working as the Director, National Council of Education Research and Training, NCRT, to assist and advise the central and state governments on policies and programs for qualitative improvement in school education. Previously, he has held the additional charge of Chairperson NCTE from February 2022 to Jan 2023. He was awarded National Fellowship by IIAS Shimla in January 2022 as well. Thank you for being here, sir. Now I would request the chair to steer the entire panel discussion. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Since we have now time, how much time is available? So you're, so you're presuming that? Okay. Okay. So what we're going to do is, we will make a small presentation on NCRF and then a small presentation on Apar. Implemented NCRF and Apar in various institutions. So that is roughly the way we want to go about it. Now the panelists have been introduced. I would straight away go to the ecosystem. If you really look at the ecosystem, we have 26.5 crore students. And if you look at the skilling ecosystem, we have more than 11 crore students. 47 crore are presently in the workforce, And 26 crores are such students who are neither in education, nor in employment, nor in training. So we call them NEET, not in education, employment, or training. So it's a very large ecosystem. Almost 15 lakh schools, 1.5 lakh senior secondary schools, 1.42 lakhs senior secondary schools, 1.5 is secondary schools, more than 1,000, 1,100, 113 universities, more than 43,000 affiliated colleges, and then there are standalone colleges which are more than 10,000. The number of school teachers is 95 lakhs, and number of higher education teachers is more than 15 lakhs. So that's a very, very large ecosystem. And if you really look at the kind of stakeholders which we have in this ecosystem, stakeholders are really very diverse and they are very well connected. Now, the biggest contribution of the NEP and NCRF is that it allows all these stakeholders to be connected with the entire ecosystem, right from school education to polytechnic to higher education, skill education to job market. It allows you to connect and then earn credits while you go with your learnings, and these learnings are then converted into certificate, diplomas, and degrees. So very quickly, all of us, we know, we heard Honorable Prime Minister in the morning. So NEP 2020 and NCRF, they are disruption in education and skilling. They enable integration of education, higher education, and vocational education training ecosystems, as I just said. Now, if I count what are the most important policies which are impacting the entire ecosystem, which are disrupting the ecosystem in a very constructive manner. So NEP, NCRF, integration embedding of skilling into school education and higher education, the National Higher Education Qualification Framework, which is for higher education, National Skill Education Qualification Framework, which is for the skilling, National Curriculum Framework, which is for the school level. Then online, digital, and blended learning, both tools and technologies. And very importantly, education and skilling in emerging technologies, which is being integrated with every kind of education as well as skilling. Similarly, this year's G20, when India is the president, the future of work has been one of the most important areas. And along with future of work, we have employability, soft skills, life skills for the future. So that's what we are concentrating on. Looking at the national education policy, it's very transformative, visionary. So it envisions high quality education integrated with skills, making education real aspirational. It removes any kind of distinction between all kinds of education, whether general education, vocational education, and establishes academic equivalence. So anybody who gets into ITI education after 10th class can simultaneously get 11th and 12th class certificate. And he remains integrated with the education. If he wants to go for BTech thereafter, he can do that. Most importantly, it's multidisciplinary and holistic, and it is across sciences, social sciences, humanities, sports. You can interchangeably take subjects. Up to certain percentage of subjects you can take interdisciplinary. Now that's allowed under various curricular frameworks. Multiple entry, multiple exit. Now this we are ensuring through NCRF. A number of use cases we'll be discussing today. Then imaginative and flexible curricular structures, enabling creative combinations of subjects, and comprehensive credit-based academic and skill qualification frameworks. Now I discussed about all three frameworks. And then assigning accumulation, storage, and transfer of credits in ABC, which is basically Apar now. We'll be discussing in detail. education acceleration and recognition of prior learning. So these are also provisions which are there both in NEP, which have been implemented through NCRF. Then internationalization of education, we are having a separate session on that, and we are very lucky that our chairman UGC is here in this session, and if there are any questions on that, so I would request you to clarify. Then provisions for lifelong learning. Now, going forward, if you really look at the NCRF, so as I said, it integrates all levels of education, all learnings. Integration of credits for academic education, both school and higher education, vocational education and training, and relevant experience and proficiency levels after attaining the qualification. So it's end-to-end understanding, it's end-to-end learning, whatever you go through your entire career. And it in a way enables all the provisions of NEP which I have just stated, including assignment, accumulation of credits, multidisciplinarity, MIMI options, removing distinction, and then it supports the qualification frameworks. Now, very importantly, if you look at this entire NCRF, this is a three-dimensional matrix, I would say. On x-axis, you can clearly see the academics, academic learning. Level 1 to 4 is school level learning, 4.5 to 8 is higher education learning. Similarly, on the y-axis, you have level 1 to 8, that's skill education. And on the z-axis, you have experiential learning. And if you take and combine the learning from all three dimensions, what you get is the total credits you earn. And there are various ways in which you can combine credits from academics, skills, and experiential learning. And all those have been defined in various programs. For example, in some of the programs, you can go up to 50% credits from the skill education of the corresponding level. Now, for example, if somebody is in UG first year, so UG first year is level 4.5, so he can earn few credits at level 4.5 from the skill education and then combine the two. So that would also go into his ABC, and that may result into his certificate, diploma, or degree. So that is how it is. And to standardize everything, we have standardized the number of hours of learning per year, which is 1200 hours. Now this is after a lot of discussion with all the stakeholders. So, and we are saying it's 40 credits per year, that means 30 hours per credit, 20 credits per semester. However, the credits may vary from course to course or institute to institute, maybe 44, maybe 48, like in some of the IITs it is being done. And then if you look at the learning actually combines all kinds of learning, right from your classroom learning, your lab work, projects, assignments, tutorials, whatever you learn in skilling, your skilling project work, your field visits, industry attachments. Similarly, your internship, apprenticeship, experiential learning, on-the-job training, all that can also be creditized. And online and blended learning, some portion of it can be creditized. There are rules on that also. So examination, class tests, assessments, and then your earlier used to call it extracurricular or co-curricular activities, but now they are all curricular. So whether it's sports and games or physical activities, performing arts, music, yoga, handicraft, bagless days, social work, community work, NCC, Shramdan, etc., everything can be creditized. Just to give you a small example, somebody wins a gold medal in Olympics. So if he is already 12th class pass, maybe we can consider whatever work he has done towards achieving that gold medal as part of the skill part of the graduation UG degree for physical education. Maybe that could be considered as 70% of the practical part of it. 30% academics can be given to him, and then it results into a degree, which gives him a good job, because most of our institutions, government institutions, they demand that kind of a certification. Now, if you look at the total matrix, it is NCRF is one single enabling meta framework, and all other qualification frameworks, they are part and parcel of this. They work together. And it works right from 5 years of foundation literacy up to the doctoral program. So level 1 is class 5th, level 2 is class 8th. Then with every year of learning, the NCRF level goes up by 0.5. So 10th is 3, 12th is 4, then UG first year 4.5, UG second year 5, UG third year 5.5, UG fourth year is 6, and then your PG 6.5 and 7, and PhD is finally 8. And similarly, when you implement this whole thing through the 3 curriculum framework, so through the school education, that is National Curriculum Framework for the school education, operates right from preschool level, which is level 0.1, up to level 4. As I said, level 3 is class 10th and level 4 is class 12th. Similarly, here again you can see the equivalence in terms of if somebody goes in for ITI education after class 8th, he also gets a 9th class certificate. After 2 years, he gets a 10th class certificate, and so on. So we have done it in such a way that there is always an equivalence if he wants to be there. And for equivalence, there could be additional conditions he may have to qualify. Similarly, the National Higher Education Qualification Framework, right from level 4.5 to level 8, starting with UG certificate, UG diploma, bachelor's degree with 3 years, and bachelor's degree with honors, which is 4 years, then your PG diploma and PG degree and master's degree, doctoral program. And very beautifully, for each of these level, we have level descriptors. We have defined very clear-cut learning outcomes, and these outcomes have been defined across the frameworks. Whatever NHEQF talks about, a similar kind of thing National Skill Qualification Framework would talk about. And if you see the level-wise, the level descriptors, they are almost the same. Now, looking at the skill qualification framework, now on the bottom side, you can see the 5 parameters, five domains as we call them, of level description: professional and theoretical knowledge, then your professional and technical skills and expertise, then your employment readiness, then your broad learning outcomes, and finally your responsibility levels. The skill education, however, starts from level 1, it goes up to level 8. And for every level we have courses. Now there are courses which are available at level 4.5 or 5 or 5.5, which can be taken by students who are into those classes in the higher education. So they can just take up those courses. There's no problem on that. Now most of the universities can assess them themselves, offer them themselves, but if they want help from the ecosystem, even that help is available. Another important thing is employability skills, on which both the National Higher Education Qualification Framework as well as the Skill Education Qualification Framework, we are giving a lot of importance. There are some basic skills which are to be taught till class 12th, which you can see in the table in the orange. Those are 12 skills, basic skills, which are required. I'm not going to elaborate them here. And if you look at the higher order skills provisions of the NCRF, and right now we are working out the mechanism to assign credits, accumulate credits, store credits, and transfer credits. And that is what you would be listening to my next speaker. The National Curriculum Framework for School Education, that is being finalized. As Honorable Prime Minister just said, it will be notified in a day or so. And then the National Credit Framework shall be implemented from this session itself. So any students who is taking admission in session 23-24 will be able to take advantage of this NCRF. And with this, we are also expanding the scope of the academic bank of credits. Earlier it was including only the higher education. Now it will also include the school education as well as the skill education. So with this, I end my presentation. Now this was the basic start. Now I would request Professor Sahasrabuddhe to kindly say something on APAR.
Good afternoon, everyone. We had a wonderful lecture by our Honorable Prime Minister in the morning, or our enthused. And what Dr. Kalsi just now presented about National Credit Framework is a very big innovation, a disruptive innovation, which is taking all variety of education, whether it is school education, higher education, skill education, on par with each other, and how one can move horizontally, vertically, etc. A very important initiative which has been undertaken. We all keep listening to these words. The NEP 2020 talks about multidisciplinary education, multiple entry, multiple exit. We also talk about skilling at all the levels. Credit transfers, we are all aware that from SWAYAM, students can take credits and then get transferred to their university transcripts. We also have a lot of internship activities. We transfer the credits. That is all allowed. But in order to make all of this happen, and also the various things which started off little earlier also. For example, we had National Academic Depository, where in the NEGD, students' certificates were also able to be uploaded. But now we are going at a macro level, even credits from a certain course, from a particular university, or even from an organization which is not a university, maybe giving certification, like for example, Microsoft or some other organization. How can that be also accounted for and then created and then brought into a place called as Academic Bank of Credits? It's almost like our banking system where we deposit our money and then withdraw whenever we require. Exactly on the similar lines, how can we have an academic bank of credits and you can keep your credits and maybe whenever required you may be able to encash, you may be able to transfer. I think this is the vision with which that was started. The second one, which is also very important, is various regulatory bodies like UGC, AICT, NCT, even Pharmacy Council of India, many of them. They keep asking for data from every educational institution which runs those programs. Some of them do it annually, some of them do it maybe once in 3 years, 5 years. Accrediting bodies like NAC and NBA, whenever your cycle gets completed, you have to apply for the next cycle. Again, the data is to be fed. And many a times, we find that there is discrepancy in the data which is submitted to different organizations. One of the reasons possibly could be the faculty whom this task is given, whatever they understand, they input that data. Or sometimes some may be giving some data which is not the real data also. That is also a possibility. And therefore, we are also attempting at what is known as a portal called One Nation, One Data, where all the institutions are required to give data in only one single place, which will be shared through APIs to all other organizations. And in order to make all of this possible, and also all the entire ecosystem of the education to be connected to each other, we needed a project which is called as Registry project. And that is what is Registry project APAAR is undertaken. APAAR stands for automated, it is in a way automated, it's going to be like that. And we want it to be permanent, and that's why that P is there. And it is related with academic, and it's also related with the account of the student, and therefore, and it's a registry project. So automated, permanent, academic, account, registry. And this is how the name was coined. And in our all Indian languages, Bharatiya Bhashaon mein, APAR यानी possibility था, immense possibilities. It may not be infinite, but certainly very large number, APAR. So opportunities through this would improve as we go along, and that's why the name was coined. And in this, we must understand the difference. Many organizations say that we have the data of all the students, we have the data of all the faculty members. And that is a database where certainly you will be in a position to extract, you can search, that is possible. But sharing of this data is not possible because it is not in a same format, it is not authenticated, and therefore the project of registry is important. Registry is nothing but a collection of databases, but they are in a manner that the organizer will receive information from multiple sources through APIs and maintain this information over time, keep it up to date, and even control the access to this information. And this is why registry is different from database, and that's what we are attempting at this level. Why do we require it? As I said, we have transformed the entire education system through NEP. We are talking about in the school education 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. Honorable Prime Minister referred to the initial phase of first 5 years when the child enters the education at the age of 3. We envisage, we dream that right at the point of entry into the Balwadi, Anganwadi itself, a student should get a unique ID, which will be a lifelong ID, which will continue when the child goes through the school, when the child goes through skilling domain, may go to higher education, and also after the job is achieved, in order to get skilling, reskilling, upskilling, whatever collection, we all talk about lifelong learning. And so this ID is permanent. The ID, Apar ID will also be connected with what we say academic bank of credits. Thereby, all the things which a candidate does will be accumulated in that location. So it is like a lifetime CV build-up, actually, that is going to happen through this particular system. Well, as stated earlier by Dr. Kalsi, we have a huge student base, about 30 crore students in the entire education system, of which about 4 plus are in the higher education, another 4 plus in the skill domain. Many are already skilled. All of them are to be integrated and brought onto a common platform, and that is why whether it is school system, skilling system, higher education system, all of them will be integrated into this Apar system. Well, now there are challenges. Certainly there will be challenges. We are all aware that, we are all aware that the students, when they join, they are to be given an ID. And if it has to be unique ID, in our country, the uniqueness has come from what is known as UDAI, that is Aadhaar. Aadhaar is a unique ID for all the students or faculty or anyone for that matter, all citizens. And therefore, at the back end, when a student registers for Apar, the Aadhaar ID will be verified, and then a unique ID will be created and given to that particular student. The student need not reflect the Aadhaar ID in future, but make use of this unique Apar ID for all the purposes. Same ID can be also similarly created for faculty members, but some of the faculty members, if they don't want to give Aadhaar, talking about privacy laws, etc., we have kept an option open for giving we all pay income tax, and therefore we have a PAN card. So at least they must give PAN card and get registered. And similarly, if there are foreign students coming in, they all hold a passport. So the passport is also unique, its number. So we have created for individuals to get an Apar ID, it is the Aadhaar based, that is UDAI, or PAN card, or passport based in the case of foreign students. This is one set of people who will be accumulated into the Apar. Faculty are also covered in that. But when it comes to the educational institutions, schools have a different type of ID, and that is through the UDAIs. There is an ID which is there for every school in the country. As far as higher education is concerned, whether it is an arts college, commerce college, science college, university, engineering college, pharmacy, there is an AISHE ID. All India Survey for Higher Education has a unique ID for all educational institutions. Making use of the IDs of the school and similarly of that of the higher education, AISHE, and also in the skill domain, we will create IDs for the educational institutions as well. They are also important because when we want to get the credentials certified, digitally certified credentials of the candidates, that the credits are done, the certificates are, whether it is degree or diploma or certificate or even minor credits earned, if they have to be deposited in the academic bank of credits, the validation is important. Who is giving it? And unless a educational institution is also recognized, we will not be able to accept that. So a digitally signed all variety of certifications or the credits will be transferred through that educational institution, and that's why educational institutions also will be part of the APAAR system. And then there are many startups and companies, private, government, many of them giving variety of education content, skill content, and for them also we have a provision that through GSTN, which is also again unique, they can get registered, and once accepted, only those organizations who are qualified, their credits will get accumulated into the academic bank of credits. It is not that any company just like comes that he has done this course from us, we will not be able to do it. So therefore, authenticity is also very, very important. I think this is about educational institutions, and there are all of these kind of organizations who are already in existence, but we will compile all of them and then put together in the APAAR. Now, this is a very important statement. This is a 4th generation electronic registry. So what does it mean? There are different state governments. They may be maintaining their own registries. So that registry and those IDs can be pulled out and then shared with the APAAR, and then APAAR will make use of it as long as it has the same standard specifications, same minimum data which we desire is also accumulated into their registries. Then through APIs, sharing of information can take place. So for example, we want exactly similar to Aadhaar, name of the student or the person, the date of birth, the sex, what we call as the phone number or the address and the telephone number or mobile number and the email ID. These are the minimum fields which we are expecting from out of this data, which will be collected from different variety of sources, and that's why this registry is going to be a federated registry. Each state may have its own, university may have its own, but shareable through APIs. Once it is got into our system of APAAR, ABC ID or the APAAR ID is created, and it will be having deposition of all the credits subsequently. I think I'm repeating the same thing, so I'll not go through this. I have explained why it is important. But one more important thing as a spin-off benefit of all of this is when we have students, the institutions registered, their locations are also known, region-wise, district-wise. We can do a lot of study on those data which are accumulated using artificial intelligence. We can drill down the student achievements. It may be not just individual, but as collectively, in which district students are performing better, what interventions are required in terms of policy in order to transform those schools and colleges. All of this is possible through what we know as Vidya Samiksha Kendras. We will have the anonymized data of all the students because we also respect privacy. So data of all the students, say, from Karnataka will be brought out. We know vis-a-vis that how Bihar is performing or Nagaland is performing, and therefore the initiatives that are required to be done in the school education or higher education can be taken care of. So this is one of the most important things of data being collected in a format which is called as a registry format. And this is a backbone on which all of us are residing. The central line shows about API through which all of them are connected, and therefore all the credentials of the candidate will be able to share. And these are all existing platforms, transaction systems. I think you look at transaction systems which are DigiLocker, ABC, there is Samarth, Diksha, Virtual Labs, Swayam, NTA portal. They are all going to be connected with the federated registries, And through what we call as the Vidya Samiksha Kendra, we will be able to get the information out of that. And lot of use cases will be created by our edutech companies in the future. There are already several use cases, but many more will get created. And some important things are a new student entering will get registry, he will get a permanent ID. Existing student, if he is going to transfer from one school to the other school, other state, today they have to struggle for getting a transfer certificate and then go to another school. This is digitally verified transfer certificate would be available through this. A lifelong learner, if he wants to reskill or upskill, again he will be made use of using this. There are variety of entrance exams, there are variety of admission systems, and you don't have to fill the form again and again. All the data will get picked up from out of this registry, and that's why it's going to be very useful. Students who aspire to get concessions in the bus, train, etc., or for scholarships, they don't have to again keep on filling the form. It will automatically pick up. Once you give your ID, whether you deserve it or not, you will be getting it. That is how this is going to be a very user-friendly as well as futuristic registry which is going to be created. Already about 1.1 crore students are there. My friend Abhishek will tell more about the technology part of it. But interestingly, I want all of you to understand this, promote it, and make all the schools and colleges in all the places, all the states to join this so that our number will become 30 crore registered numbers here on this platform. With this, I conclude. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. It's indeed an honor and privilege to be in this distinguished panel of speakers. And already Kalsi sir and Saswade sir, they have laid down the roadmap for the new education policy, which allows for lifelong learning, getting credits, getting lessons, learning from multiple sources, universities, colleges, private sector, trainings, internships, vocational education. And with the numbers that we have, the millions of students that we have, the number that was shown, the 1,000+ universities, the academic institutions, and the number of diverse courses, the credits that one can earn, the combination of credits to get a course is actually a Apar. And that's where the Apar works comes in. Even though we have finite number of institutions and teachers, but the combination of courses that we can have is indeed very large, and to manage that, we can only do such a management with the technology. Like how do we, for a billion-plus country with more than 30 crore students, how do we manage that? We need to use technology, and just like we have been using technology for managing our identities with Aadhaar, or payments with UPI, or DigiLocker with all our documents, or CoWIN for vaccination, this initiative of Ministry of Education, which started with National Academic Depository, wherein it was envisaged that all academic credentials, all our certificates, all our mark sheets, all our migration certificates, started with the school education, wherein all school boards contribute their certificates to the academic depository, and now higher education also become a part of it. So this journey with higher education started in 2020 when DigiLocker was declared as the single academic depository for all certificates. And DigiLocker at that point of time, in 2020, when the pandemic had also struck, we had around 3.5 crore users on DigiLocker. Today we have 18 crore users. In the last 3 years, so simultaneous with the journey of a National Academic Depository, the journey of DigiLocker has also gone up, wherein we have increased by almost 5 times plus. And then we started, the NAD registration started 2021, and the ABC or the Apar system started January 2022. And today, if we look at the entire NAD system, we have more than 2,080 academic institutions registered, 68 crore data has been uploaded, and in the ABC system or the Apar system, we have 1446 academic institutions which are registered, and we have more than 1.24 crore IDs which have been created. And this has all been possible because of the immense support that we got from the UGC, from the AICT, from all the academic institutions, from the education department, all the states, and all the stakeholders concerned. So this is the statistics which shows and it has been it's not an easy task. In fact, the last 2 to 3 years, a lot of it was pandemic, and schools and colleges were shut down. But in spite of that, We got a lot of support. Our team here worked very closely with all of you. We had daily video conferencing sessions in which we imparted training, we learned what are the challenges, we fine-tuned the system, worked on the technology platform, ensured that uploading and sharing of data became very easy and seamless. So with this, we have today 15 lakh awards which have been integrated with the Apar ID. But a lot more needs to be done. While we have done a bit, we have got 1446 institutions integrated with Apar, but if you have to realize the vision that Kalsi sir and Sasbuddhe sir gave with regard to allowing students to learn and allowing the data to be shared seamlessly and trying to ensure that we have the right citizens which will make up the India at when we turn 100 in 2047, we have to ensure that this foundation that we are laying down today, that the students who are graduating today will be the citizens who will shape up the future of our country for the next 25 years. So this becomes very important. This project is very important from the national point of view also. This is the statistics. I will not go into the detail, but it also shows that while some universities and some colleges have done very well, but there are some institutions which need to kind of improve the information data that have been uploaded, the number of awards which have been registered, and I was surprised to look that the institutes of national importance are the ones that need to catch up the maximum with the central universities and the colleges. Some smaller institutions have done very well. The institutes of national importance are also requested, if some of you are here, that how do we ensure that we also join the rest of it and ensure that all academic rewards are integrated on the Apar system. How it happens, I will quickly explain. This was made very simple and we have tried to make it in a do-it-yourself kind of system. Creation of Apar ID is not difficult, it's very simple, and many students are creating their Apar IDs themselves. How can they create? They can create on the DigiLocker, which as I told you has more than 18 crore users today, 600 crore documents. So DigiLocker, you go there, you sign up, there is a very simple menu driven sign up, and just like you take very little time to sign up on Twitter or Facebook or some like that, it takes as much time to sign up on that. So it's very simple and most students are able to do that. Umang, the mobile app, also has a facility for doing that. The academic, we have also provided a link on the portal of the academic institution. So whichever academic institution are there, there is a link there also with which students can log in and create their ID. And the Apar portal, the abc.gov.in is also an option. So all these 4 options are there where students can create their Apar ID themselves, and we are encouraging that many students create it themselves on their own. And then for universities, for academic institutions, for colleges, also there is an option where you can create in a bulk mode. If there are lots of students for which you want to create an ID, so there is a provision therein, the information which is required, the fields that are required are name, date of birth, gender, mobile number, registration number, roll number and Aadhaar number. So with these fields, if you have an Excel sheet, you can upload that and the Apar ID for all the students are created and they are informed of their Apar ID automatically. So this is also possible and this is very simple for universities or colleges who want to create the Apar ID in a batch mode, in a bulk mode. And then we also have the assisted mode. Like there might be some people who are not tech savvy or who don't have a smartphone or don't have a computer. They can also go and create a common service centers. The common service centers are also there to ensure that no one is left behind. Every institution is provided support. And to facilitate all of that, we have a daily video conferencing which happens. The link is given on our portal. Anybody wanting to do that, we are willing to conduct workshops. We have done for numerous universities and state governments, and our team is always available to share all the information if you are facing any technical challenges in creating the student IDs. Then how ABC and Apar works, like what is the magic that creates? Like Kalsi sir mentioned about how the credits and various levels and how do you earn 40 credits for a particular degree or a course, and how does various courses that you do add up to that degree. So what happens that Apar ID, once you have an Apar ID, the academic institution matches the courses that you have done with Apar ID. Suppose right now everybody studies in only one college, but in future it may be possible that I study physics from Hindu College and I do a course in mathematics from Stephens College, and if I have linked up the Apar IDs on both the institutions, the credits for both the courses can be added up into my transcript and my degree can kind of actually count both the credits and ensure that I am able to complete that course. Or as Sasbuddhe sir mentioned, I may do a course on say Microsoft Office, or I may do a vocational education course from somewhere, or I may do an internship in a factory or somewhere, or I may do voluntary work at some other institution. So those courses also, as per the curriculum framework which have been designed beautifully, those credits can be added up, because those credits also will be linked up with your Apar ID, and ultimately the transcript will show that I have got some some credits from one institution, some credits from some other institution, some credits from a voluntary institution, or some credits from internship or some social work that I have done. So that would ensure that we create students, graduates who are employable, who have skills, and who are able to become better citizens of tomorrow. So once the academic institution uploads the mark sheets with APAAR ID, it gets linked to your credit repository. And all the credits that you have earned, which are linked to your APAAR ID, which can be earned from any institution, becomes the account, the permanent account of the student. That adds up to their profile. So just like we create LinkedIn accounts and all, wherein we claim whatever it is there, but it's not verified. Here it's all verified, authenticated, verifiable, and whatever is there in the APAAR account, if somebody wants to verify, if somebody applies for a job somewhere, and somebody wants to verify, does this person has any experience of having done voluntary work? So the APAAR ID data will be able to say yes or no based on the credentials which are there in the APAAR ID in the education locker on the DigiLocker that has been built in. So this is how the entire ABC APAAR system works and ensures that we are able to actually realize the vision that's been laid out in the new education policy and the national curriculum framework. So how accumulation, redemption, transfer of credits happens is like institution A will give you the credit, and suppose you want to redeem your credit. Suppose I have done 20 credits from one institution and I want to, because of any reason, I move to some other institution, I want to transfer the credits to the other institution, I can do that also. In Western world, this is very common, wherein people move from one college to the other. So that would be possible under the new education policy here also. If suppose somebody was studying in Patna University and because of some reason he has to go to Chennai, then he could transfer the semesters or the credits or the learning that he has had in that university to the Chennai University or the college there, and ensure that he doesn't lose out on learning. So this will ensure mobility, this will ensure lifelong retention of records, and this will ensure that more and more students are able to complete and continue their education as per the schema envisaged. And the verification is also very easy, like whichever institution wants to verify whether what the person is coming to be credited is right or not, it can be done through APIs. And in jobs also it's becoming very, very easy. Like National Academic Depository was also integrated, of course, class 10th and 12th, when the Agniveer recruitment happened for the Indian Army and the armed forces. So all the records, credentials were verified through APIs. Otherwise, verifying academic credential by sending it to the registrar or by sending it to the school board sometimes can take very long. In fact, we have cases from police, Karnataka police, wherein they verified the academic credentials and they cut down their recruitment cycle of constables by more than 6 months. And more and more private sector companies are also trying to use that. So this will also ensure that employment opportunities goes up, and this will also ensure that people are able to verify and not fudge records in any manner. And since it's integrated with DigiLocker, it not only allows verifying of academic credentials, but we can also do identity verification and other documents that are there on the DigiLocker of a citizen. This is again a credit transfer case 1. Saswude sir also mentioned about that. How does it happen? Like if a student is migrating from institution A to institution B, if suppose he is studying in institution A, then he logs in, uploads all these credits that are there on the APAAR portal. Then he wants to go to institution B. The institution B is able to see what credits he has uploaded from the system, is able to digitally verify the same thing, and then student B approves the transfer. So the credits of that he has earned from institute A gets transferred to institute B, and the student gets enrolled in institute B. And ultimately, institute B uploads whatever credits he has learned in institute B, and then the combination of the credits from institute A and institute B helps in getting a degree. And the way it will work is that while for simplicity's sake I have explained for 2 institutions, ultimately it can be for multiple institutions, it can be from voluntary bodies, it can be for social work, it can be for industry work, internship. Just 1 minute. Similarly, credit transfer case 2 is also like in this what happens is that already accumulated credit, suppose somebody has got from skills or SWAYAM or ODL, that can also be transferred in the same way, wherein both the institutions upload it on the APAAR portal, the account gets populated, and then it happens. So I'll just conclude by saying that while we have done so much, but a lot more needs to be done. What more needs to be done is that we need all institutions to adopt standardized ABC and APAAR by all education institutions. Higher education is happening, but technically the same process can be continued can be done for school education also, because a lot of mobility happens at the school level also. If we are able to standardize the credit system for the school education system also, students at the school education system will also be moved from one school to other school and be able to transfer credits or learnings that they have done. Then we are also working with school boards to ensure that APAAR ID and ABC ID is created. Vocational education training and skill system is also to be part of it. Horizontal records, these are permanent horizontal records for students across school, college, university and vocational, and all credits will lead to degrees and diplomas as envisaged by the National Credit Framework. And Apar ID can also be used for, the NTA can also start using it for real-time verifications and for the examinations that we conduct. So this is what I wanted to present today. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you, Abhishek, for that wonderful presentation. So we have with us Vice Chancellor, Delhi University, प्रोफेसर जोगेश सिंह जी. इन्होंने सबसे पहले जो है NHEQF और NCRF को पूरी तरह से इम्प्लीमेंट किया है with great success. Also the ABC has been implemented by Delhi University. Just talking to him, more than 6 lakh students. So I'll request him how he has actually implemented these two, the use cases I was discussing, he would share with us on that.
Good afternoon, my dear friends. Now, framework is ready. It is like a situation where railway track is ready now, but if we have to do something very, very significant, important for our country, then there should be trains, there should be many things on the track. And regulators have done their job. All type of frameworks are available. Transfer policies are also available. And we all know it is student-centric policy. Open curriculum is expected. And the best thing when it comes to the implementation in Delhi University, when we started implementing this in 2022. So this is our second year of implementation. So when we were implementing the concept of major and minor, expecting that a student of physics can take minor in Sanskrit or minor in management, or when we are planning, now in this year we are planning to implement Hindu studies, then we are saying masters in Hindu studies, but one can take minor in computers, minor in psychology, minor in something, or vice versa also. So this is a one thing which is to be implemented correctly. And our curriculum, undergraduate 4-year curriculum, is based on 176 credits. So we feel that if you want to do a minor, then 28 credits. It means 28 credits, 7 subjects in a particular discipline, then you will get a minor. But if you are implementing 160 credit, you can keep it to 6 credits, 6 full subjects. Full subject means 4 subject courses. And there are 6 verticals. One vertical is discipline-specific core. If you have taken admission in physics, you have to take certain credits, compulsory credits from that vertical. One. Second is discipline-centric elective. You are very particular about your discipline. Take electives from your discipline only. Sorry. This is another vertical. Third is generic elective. Generic electives are those electives which are offered by other faculties. For example, I am a student who took admission in Faculty of Science. I can take courses from Faculty of Technology, Faculty of Medicine, Faculty of Social Sciences, like that. That will give me a minor in so multidisciplinary approach. And then 3 other verticals are ability enhancement courses. Ability enhancement means one is the compulsory course for every university to implement environment, science and sustainable development. Another is what we have decided, all languages are mentioned listed in the 8th schedule of the Constitution. So you can take one language every semester, but this course you have to complete under this ability enhancement, environment, science and sustainability. Then skill enhancement courses, internship, entrepreneurship, so many things in this vertical, and then value addition courses. But you know, what is happening on ground, these 6 verticals essential for everyone. Then, you know, when we were implementing this, because we have large number of students at undergraduate level, in value addition courses, the most sought after popular course which came out is the financial literacy. Financial literacy, 18,906 students opted in a semester for this program. for this course. Then constitutional values and fundamental duties, 18,671. Digital empowerment, 14,892. Emotional intelligence, 8,326. Culture and communications, 7,132. Another is like skill courses. When we talk about, students took digital marketing as the first sought after course, 12,777 students. Then personality development and communication, more than 12,000. Political leadership and communication, 11,000, like that. So point is, one thing which I have not mentioned here is the Bharatiya Jnana Parampara or Indian knowledge system. My dear Vice Chancellors and the directors, those who are here, please keep in mind, if you want to implement few courses on Bharatiya Jnana Parampara or Indian knowledge system, purpose will not be served. Keep this in mind, these are the 6 verticals, and then I have to implement horizontally this Indian knowledge system in the whole system. Don't focus on 1 or 2 subjects. Purpose will be defeated and students will not take those courses at all. Data says they will not, they are not popular courses. We also tried to implement this. We designed few courses on under this title only, or on some other titles also, but hardly like 100 students, 200 students, 50 students are taking those courses. But that is not the purpose. Implement, try to incorporate in every subject. So implement it horizontally, then and only then we will get the results. Because, for example, financial literacy is a very popular course, but you know, what were our financial systems? How can we design new systems? What was happening in ancient India? So this is also very, very important, we have to keep in mind. And giving a major 80 credits are essential, mandatory credits out of 176. Say major in physics, 80 you have to do from the from your compulsory from the physics, and rest is from others. But like BA program, general BA program, physics, chemistry, BSc physics, chemistry, mathematics, BA in some 3 courses. Then you know we are giving BA in social sciences, physical sciences, life sciences and mathematical sciences. So BSc and BA programs, and then the commerce. So here different types of courses we are experimenting, and very soon, like it will take 1 or 2 years to understand what will happen on the ground. But commerce is a very, very sought after course, but how can we inculcate in commerce also this multidisciplinary approach is a challenge. So it provides maximum flexibility, and now everything is, this level we have achieved. But the point is, now think about the next level. This whole system is not designed only to have frameworks, only to have this level, only to make certain changes in the curriculum, but you know, we need, we have to work on national character development, which we don't emphasize, and here also it has not been emphasized. Then this, how can we do it? How can we incorporate through our courses? There is a challenge. So level 2, now after implementing a level 2, level 1 in 1 or 2 years now, focus on collaborative and collaborative approach and patriotic mindset. How can we do it? How can we design instruments for that? This is also, still it is also missing. We really don't know how to do it. But yes, we have to work on it horizontally. This you should remember, if you try to implement vertically, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen, only cosmetic, only peripheral changes will be there, but we have to focus on the core. That's why when we say the conceptual understanding, then conceptual understanding also, evaluation system, the examination system and evaluation system need reforms here. We have to, like, if we focus only on the marks and the assignments and those things, how? This is a thing which is to be, you know, researched now. We should focus on, we also don't have instruments. We are trying to implement few things, but what will happen, we will share some time. But now we have to think about it, level 2. Then and only then we will be able to minimize this rote learning. Oh, everyone is talking about the happy minds. How can? How can is a question. Think about it. And because we want enthusiastic, energetic, patriotic citizens. These are the important aspects of level 2. And after that, we have to work on the level 3, which is the emotional side of national education policy, which the country is expecting from us. So only, please keep in mind, we have achieved only level 1 right now. Focus on 2 and 3. Then 3, then the purpose will be served. then the hard work which the regulators and other institutions are putting, that will be served. With these remarks, I'm thankful for the organizer for inviting me and sharing some of my views.
Thank you, Professor Jugeshi. Now we have Dr. Vidya Subramaniamji with us. He'll share with us some of the difficulties which are being faced by some of the states in implementation of NCRF and APAAR.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Distinguished panel members and distinguished members of the audience, a very good afternoon. I'm going to use the next 6 to 8 minutes to give a new perspective, a perspective that I just got on stage after listening to Mr. Kalsi as well as Professor Sahasrabuddhe, who have actually shared a very large vision by way of this APAAR and the National Curriculum Framework. Now, what Professor Dinesh Singh shared was at a large scale, the size of Delhi University, and I'm sure many institutions and universities, smaller like mine, will have done the same thing but at a very small scale. But what is common between both of us is that, as he rightly said, we have just scratched the surface. And that is why I am alarmed when some of the institutional leaders come and tell and share that they have implemented NEP 2020. So the moment I hear that, I know for sure that they have not understood what NEP 2020 is all about, because NEP 2020, the minimum shelf life of NEP 2020 in my assessment is at least 30 years. So it takes that long time to actually fully achieve what NEP 2020 can give. So with that rider, there are some difficulties, and every institution, for every intervention in NEP 2020, there will be a difficulty, there will be a problem. That doesn't mean that NEP 2020 is a problematic policy. No, not at all. You have to make sure that you have the capacity to internalize and understand what the desired outcome it is going to give for a larger purpose. And it is in that perspective I just want to share. Maybe it might appear to be a little philosophical, but I think that will drive the message very strong. Today, wherever we go and for whatever purpose, whether to earn a job or for whatever requirement that we seek some help, the question that is asked for especially to graduates is, who are you? Who am I? So I have to answer that question myself. So gone are the days where resumes of individuals were actually like encyclopedia. Now they want a one-page summary, and today even a one-page summary people don't have time to read them as well. So the question still is, who am I? Now if you look at it at a philosophical point of view, I just want to give a small incident, and with that I will close. 10 years back, we were actually in a function to felicitate a school dropout who was a successful businessman, turnover running to 100 crores. And on the felicitation stage were distinguished people, some of them with the PhDs, publications and all of that. And the businessman in the open stage said, I'm a school dropout, and he shared that. And then all of us offered the felicitations, and then we came down. Then, another distinguished academic again went and asked the gentleman, what is your degree? So I could see the face of the gentleman was so dwarfed. He openly shared that he is a school dropout. But, he was asked what his degree was. Now, we are in such a situation where, we look at a person, double PhD, publications and all of that, but we never go and ask that person what you have achieved. But on the other hand, a person who has achieved so much, we go and ask him, what have you studied? Okay. Now, I think this APAAR and this National Curricular Framework has actually given an answer to this larger question of who am I, which is a different level of philosophy that Saint Ramana Maharishi, very close to the place that I come from, asked the question first. But I'm not getting to the philosophical plane. On an academic plane, the APAAR and the National Curricular Framework answers the question, who am I? Because APAAR gives an ID to everybody, And the national curricular framework will give an answer to the question, what have you done? Because the moment I look at an individual's educational life cycle, I know what they have achieved, what is their level of achievement and all of that. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, I think that these two initiatives is like the QR code for an individual actually. Qualifications respected. So it is a QR code for an individual's identity, for their knowledge abilities. So that's how I would like to put both the National Curricular Framework and APAAR, and I'm sure all of this is going to get integrated into a very robust online mechanism. And talking about that, there is a lot of interventions that has also happened in the online space, both in terms of teaching, learning, delivery, as well as the ecosystem that is going to support this. So to cut the long story short, the short and sweet message from these two landmark initiatives, it's giving an answer to a philosophical question, but thinking it from an academic plane, it tells you who I am and what I have done. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. The entire gamut of NCRF and APAAR would be incomplete. स्कूल एजुकेशन में आप क्या कर रहे हैं इस संबंध में?
Good afternoon to all dignitaries on the dais and in the hall. Actually, very important question, and I would say that without that, solving that, we'll not be able to launch our whole program. These important programs are so far limited to higher education system only. But we have to imagine about, as of now, 26 crores of these school-going kids and the dropouts which actually take place in the school days. So these questions are very important, and I am going to delve into them in very shortly, not in a very long process, but I will just say that if these systems have to be applied, they have to be applied from the foundational state itself. And as of now, as we have just in the morning, we have seen that Honorable Prime Minister has addressed that the National Curriculum Framework for foundational stage has come, and learning teaching material has also come for that stage. So learning teaching, learning through the experiential learning, that is going to be very important. And that's why the toys, plays and all, everything is there. And the credit from learning, that is important. Whatever we learn, it is not just through the book only and passing the exams only. That is through the experiential learning, and that will start from the childhood itself, from the EC itself. And for that also, National Credit Framework has given the credits. From there itself, accreditation will take place. And for that, as far as the data for the APAAR is concerned, Vidya Samiksha Kendras are there. They have the very massive data. That has to be aligned with the APAAR. Data can be taken from there. That is one important solution which we can have. And then another thing is that the National Credit Framework in India is a remarkable initiative to provide students a flexibility to complete their courses as per their requirements. That is very important. Dropouts take place when a kid is not going to take the classes, and he has some problem. We know that India is a big country and the students' diversity is there, socioeconomic diversity is there. Everybody can't afford to be in private schools or good schools. But then we have to think about the government schools and rural areas where the kids are there. So the component of the rootedness in India, that is the solution given by the NEP 2020. When we say that NCRT has launched the Jadui Pitara, so it is a concept, not a fixed thing. When I say that a kid of Karnataka, why should he play with the toys from the Himalayan part? Local toys will be there. So that will give immense opportunity for the localization and creditization, because whatever we are doing, learning from our environment, that is important. Another important point which Professor Yogesh Singh touched upon, and philosophically Shastra Vice Chancellor has also touched upon, that is going to solve the problem actually. If we are not going to recognize ourselves, who will recognize ourselves then? Charity begins at home. We have to acknowledge, and that's how the solution with us is that we are going to gelling into the Indian knowledge system in our all books right from the beginning, giving example from our own tradition, our own knowledge, that will be gelled into there. And by the time the kids are going to college, they will already be trained one in the Indian knowledge system. They will have very strong foundations, strong foundation from the childhood itself. So that is the solution from where we'll start from the beginning, and that those books will be totally, compounded one, and they will be taking the matter from the Indian knowledge system. So from childhood itself, that is very important. Another important aspect is that when all the stages of school education have been included in National Credit Framework, which is an appreciative step. In a country like India, children, due to their diverse socio-economic conditions and background, they, in many cases, they discontinue their school after class 5 or class 8. So, and that case which you referred, that school dropout, which is a success story, that we have to take into account here. So that will solve the problem. And this credit framework, which will provide students an opportunity to accumulate their credits. So, professional education back to school, and from where the world of work, or she will have the credits to show, and then they will have to spend a substantial productive time in learning that will be recognized. And that's how the learning process will get the accreditation, and the credits will be earned through that. For example, if a grade 5 student with the total accumulated credits of 200 over the years, and thereafter undertake a particular bridge course, is eligible to appear for the grade 8 examination. Once a student clears it, he would be grade 8 pass and can continue with grade 9 onwards through mainstream education. So NCRT will work with the SCRTs and school boards to develop credit-based courses for across the classes, slowly shifting from textbook completion approach to course completion approach, in consonance with NCF for school education, which is going to be coming out very soon. So that will be very important. We'll also work with the teachers on the continuous and holistic assessment of competencies and learning outcomes, so that the teachers can assign credits based on the progress of children in the respective areas. So in that way, the NCRT will solve this problem, try to solve this problem, because we have to work with different boards, and for that PRF is already established by NCRT. Unless and until we give value to the learning process in the assessment, it will not solve the problem. We have to give proper place in assessment the learning through the experience. So that's holistic assessment is very important. The rote learning experience and that assessment is not going to give us anything new. So we have to change ourselves, our mindset also. And parents and teachers from the very beginning have to be convinced first. Only then the child will be convinced. Until and unless parents are not giving the kids the freedom to play with the toys, and toy-based pedagogy, stress-free learning, joyful learning, that has to be recognized, and for that mindset has to be prepared right from the beginning of the parents first and then the teachers, because it is the childhood which is very important, and first 8 years are very important. Those 8 years have to be celebrated, and those 8 years have to be culminated through the joyful learning based on toy-based pedagogy. So for that purpose, we have to change our attitude and mindset. For that, we will try to work hard. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Siklani. Now, we hardly have time for 1 or 2 questions from the audience. Haji.
Lancet Commission report which speaks about, and we all have faced 2 years of COVID, which has made us realize that paramedical workforce is of immense importance. And the Lancet Commission report last year only published that in Delhi itself, there are about 10 lakh people in unorganized sector, skilled workers in health domain. But what happens, sir, whenever we try to create some kind of credit framework for those who have done some work in that domain, again the statutory bodies, councils come in way. So is there a thought process which has been done?
Yes, we are working around that.
Yes.
But you know, health is something which touches your lives.
Yes, sir.
तो वहाँ हमारे भी हाथ खड़े हो जाते हैं जब health regulator आ जाता है बीच में. So it is possible, and we are working with them.
Yes.
We are trying to convince them, and wherever possible, we'll help you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes. आपस में डिसाइड कर लो कौन पूछेगा. जी जी, आप बताएं.
Sir, I have the mic here.
I also have a mic.
So can I?
हाँ जी, हाँ जी, हाँ जी, हाँ जी.
Can I ask you the question?
Okay. Now there are detailed guidelines on blended learning which are available on NCVT's website. Okay. Those guidelines clarify in greater detail as to which component could be taught through what means, what percentage has to be online, what percentage has to be offline. Obviously, the hands-on skills cannot be online only. However, if the skills are that of the programming, where the student has to, the person has to work for the rest of his life online, no, the skills can be taught online as well. So there is a mix which is allowed, and it is allowed through LMS. So details are there. It's on my website, NCVT website. You will find it.
Sir, can I?
So
Thank you, sir, for answering that.
Continuing in that answer, even AICTE on the lines of UGC has permitted 40% of the credits to be earned through MOOC platform SWAYAM. But these courses must be theoretical courses where there is a hard practical content, hands-on requirement that cannot be taken through the what we call SWAYAM or any other portal, but you must take theory courses from best of the teachers available from anywhere actually, that is permitted.
Thank you, Kalsi. Kalsi Sahab, you were saying, can you clarify about level 7 in that matrix that you have shown for the non-engineering batches?
Ji.
One question, because in the UGCs and
I'll clarify, I understood your question.
Sorry, one more thing related to that. In the UGC's website, which has given all the documents now, even level 10 is mentioned. Now, I hope it is level 8 right now at the top.
Right now it is level 8, even UGC website now mentions level 8.
No, there are other documents, parallel documents, sir. That's why I
पुराना डॉक्यूमेंट आपके हाथ आ गया होगा तो उसको आप इग्नोर करें. अभी level 8 है, सब जगह level 8 है. Now, and only UGC has notified NCRF, which mentions level 8. Okay, so that's UGC's document. So that document is overarching. Okay. So there's no issue. Now about this level 7, अगर उसने 3 साल की डिग्री के बाद मास्टर्स किया है तो उसको लेवल 6.5 मिलेगा, और अगर ऑनर्स के बाद उसने किया है 2 साल मास्टर्स किया है तो लेवल 7 मिलेगा. एवरी ईयर ऑफ लर्निंग.
सर आपका जो ग्राफ में वो ऐसे नहीं है.
ऐसे ही है, ऐसे ही है. वो आप देख नहीं पाए, मैं आपको भेज देता हूँ.
I've seen that, sir. Please check it.
Hello. A very good afternoon to all, sir. Actually, I am from University of Engineering and Management, Jaipur, Rajasthan. We were the first institution almost 2 years back when we registered for ABC through NAD. National NDA and NAD, basically National Depository of Academics. After that, last year, I've been approached by one student from another university that after 3 years of his course from that university, he had some break and wanted to have transfer to our university using that academic transfer of credits. We were okay with that, but I think there was the provision to take the permission from the other university also. That also was the part of at that time this particular scheme. But after few months of discussions and all, we came to know from a person from the UGC that right now it's not been implemented practically. You take decisions mutually. Because I think the credit transfers were not there shown in the student site or the student portal or the university portal. So sir, I just wanted to be a small question. When practically all these things will be available and we can inform the students accordingly. Thank
देखिए
you.
जब ABC में सब कुछ जाना शुरू हो जाएगा and this APAAR is implemented, everything will be possible. You will be able to see it. Would you like to answer that?
As sir has mentioned, see ABC में जैसे बताया कि 1446 institutions are already enrolled and guidelines कि किस credit का कौन सी university accept करेगी, this has to be laid down by UGC. So I don't know the particular case. If you share with that, we can find out what is the case. But once the framework is notified by UGC and the institutions agree to accept each other's degrees, it will be possible to do it electronically. I'm happy to look into your case offline. Just share with us the details and we'll do that.
UGC ने तो power आपको दे रखी है. Chairman UGC here. I'll request him to kindly clarify.
Oh, absolutely fine. In fact, you can transfer the credits even without ABC. If two institutes agree to send their students to each other's institutions, you send the credits and then they will be used. But otherwise, if you register on ABC, you can do it using technology. So UGC doesn't come into picture at all. We have the National Higher Education Qualification Framework. We have the National Credit Framework. It is up to you to take the first step, sign the MOUs, and then transfer the credits.
Thank you, Dr. Saab. तो वो भी आपका फैसला है. उसमें भी UGC की गाइडलाइंस बहुत क्लियर है. वहां आपका एकेडमिक बोर्ड जो पिक्चर में आएगा.
See, in any program, you have the compulsory courses, core courses, you have the elective courses, open electives, and so on. So you can take the corresponding courses. A group of faculty in your institution can see which courses can be considered as equivalent to either core or open electives, and then you transfer the credits. It is in your hands. Don't look for UGC to micromanage everything. Your autonomous institutions, there is a huge intellectual resource within your institute. Use it and work out the solutions.
Sir,
Thank you, Dr. Saab.
one question, sir.
हाँ जी.
I'm Sachin Untwale from GH Raisoni College, Nagpur. I have a question. In case of multiple entry and multiple exit, on completion of first year, we can issue a certificate post completion of 8 credits as a skill course. Now, if he drops from the first year, he acquires a certificate after getting 8 extra credits. And if he again rejoins the course after a couple of years, and he has to complete 160 credits minimum for completion of the BTech degree. So will these 8 additional courses which has been given for the certificate be counted in 160 or it will be over?
Why not? Why not? That's my question.
It has been additionally done to get a certificate.
बिल्कुल आपने उसको level 4.5 पे courses कराए हैं.
जी.
तो फिर credit framework तो कहता कि count होंगे.
अच्छा. Thank you. Thank you.
Indian knowledge, this thing, Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads were there, but I think in the second year it was not there. What you mentioned and what Vidya sir had also mentioned, you need a continuous backup of this. It is not a small, you do a course in the first year and you leave it. My request would be, if you have these short-term courses, credit all the 4 years for any sustained impact on the children.
We have not dropped any course. It is still there, but
No, option was not given in the second year and third year. I thought she will take
for similar course.
Yes, sir. Like Bhagavad Gita was there in the first year. I thought she will take up Upanishads in the second and third, like that.
We will look into this. We'll look into this.
करवा दीजिए. हाँ बिल्कुल 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 ऑनलाइन इसके लिए तो ऑनलाइन भी एक कोशिश करेंगे. ये स्किल की तरफ से भी कोशिश हो रही है और lot many courses would be available.
Just
हाँ जी.
Yeah, just a small clarification from Professor Yogesh Singh, General Venkatesh, Vice Chancellor Mahe. You mentioned about 80 credits for major. Have you implemented across all verticals of humanities, social sciences, and commerce? And also when you have an industry experience of apprenticeship or internship, in which vertical are you integrating that for commerce courses? Yeah.
No, what I said, 80 credits are mandatory credits to have a major in a subject. For example, physics or psychology or social science, 80 is out of 176. But rest of the credits, there are skill courses, credits and general electives, 8 courses, 32 credits for general, for discipline-centric electives. So you can take either discipline-centric elective or general elective depending upon your choice. But 80 credits are essential for the subject only.
Sir, just
Last 2 questions.
okay. Hello, sir. My question is to Professor Kalsi, sir. After adding the 1200 hours in the national curriculum framework, it has added the confusions. I explain why. It amounts to 1 credit means 30 hours per semesters. Okay. And 1 credit is equal to 1 hour, equal to the CCFUP and NCRF field, sir. 1 semester means 90 working days according to the UGC.
I'll answer that question. I understand what you're asking.
So,
देखिए ऐसा है, let me answer that question. मोटा मोटी 1200 घंटे के 40 क्रेडिट हैं, 30 आवर्स पर क्रेडिट है, लेकिन ये इंस्टीट्यूशन पे छोड़ा गया है कि वो अपने 600 घंटे को कैसे डिवाइड करते हैं. 600 आवर्स को जैसे IITs ने अगर डिवाइड करना है तो 15 घंटे का वो एक लेक्चर का क्रेडिट एक रख लें, 30 घंटे के प्रैक्टिकल्स का एक रख लें, 45 आवर्स की एक्सपीरियंशियल लर्निंग का एक रख लें, वो कर सकते हैं. बट ऑन एन एवरेज द एंटायर ईयर वुड गेट यू 40 क्रेडिट्स. यस जी. ऐसा नहीं है, यूनिफॉर्म नहीं है वो यूनिफॉर्म नहीं है. और वर्ल्ड की सारी कंट्रीज में जहां स्किल है वहां 30 क्रेडिट्स 30 आवर्स पर क्रेडिट है वहां पर, और वो डिस्टिंग्विश नहीं करते, वो थ्योरी प्रैक्टिकल में डिस्टिंग्विश नहीं करते. ये हम ही लोग कर रहे हैं, लेकिन फिर भी वो NCRF कहता है फ्लेक्सिबल है, विद एग्जांपल्स दिया उसमें. आप आवर्स तो लिखेंगे नहीं ना, आप तो सिर्फ क्रेडिट्स लिखेंगे. आप लिख दीजिए बस उतना क्रेडिट्स. आपको एक सेमेस्टर में टोटल 20 क्रेडिट्स आपके होने चाहिए, उसको जैसे मर्जी डिवाइड करें आप. फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी है आपको, इंडिकेटिव है जी. लास्ट क्वेश्चन.
Rajesh from the Leather Sector Skill Council. Last 5 years we've been working between education and employability. Successfully we have done. Now we have 2 challenges. One, we started going to school, started teaching 8, 9, 10 class children. we started teaching a set of NOSes because they can't complete the full QP. So we are dividing the NOSes between 8, 9, 10. So the level 2, the level 3, they should be able to clear and come to level 4 by 11 and 12. So there we have a challenge where schools are not really understanding how to take this credit, or where they can give an option, drop a subject and add this. This is one question. At the other end of the spectrum is where when we take BVOC to the universities, our industry is clustered in where the employment is clustered in certain region, but people come across India to work in the sector. So which university to go? So university has geographical restrictions. So these are the two challenges we have, sir. Please.
See, as far as your schools are concerned, now the thing is very clear. In class 9th and 10th, you can offer one subject as vocational. So you can have 5 subjects, or one can have one additional subject as vocational. So you can take a 6th subject. But in 11th and 12th, up to 3 subjects you can take vocational. 3 ho sakte hain. So it is for the institution to decide. So that is already allowed by CBSE. And we are designing those courses in such a manner that the course gets broken into 2 parts for class 9th and class 10th. So 400 hours, 200 hours for each year. Similarly for 12th, it is 300 hours each year. So 300 hours for 11th and 300 hours for 12th. So 600 hours of total teaching. वो तो करना पड़ेगा, वो तो सकलानी साहब यही तो कर रहे थे, करेंगे उसके ऊपर काम।
इसके लिए आपको हमने बताया कि परख जो है एक तो वो है, दूसरा सीबीएसई के साथ मिलकर के अभी बहुत सारे कोर्स एनसीईआरटी वोकेशनल कोर्सेज डिजाइन कर रही है। सबसे अच्छी बात जो ये है कि ये जनरल एजुकेशन और वोकेशनल एजुकेशन का गैप मिट रहा है इससे, इसलिए अब ये नहीं रहेगा कि वोकेशनल एजुकेशन कर दिया तो ये पढ़ा लिखा नहीं है, वो जो पहले बात थी वो ख़त्म होने वाली है अब। इसलिए माइंड सेट चेंज करने के लिए मैंने यही कहा था, अभी हम लोग पुराने माइंड सेट में अटके हुए हैं, तो मैंने सबसे बड़ी बात जो इसमें ये कही कि टीचर को और पेरेंट्स को माइंड सेट चेंज करना है। एनईपी 2020 को अगर सक्सेसफुली लागू करना है और नेशनल करिकुलम फ्रेमवर्क का जो अभी हमारा एक फाउंडेशनल स्टेज का बना है, मैंने एग्जाम्पल दिया आपको, खिलौनों का एग्जाम्पल दिया। रूटेडनेस का कैसे होगा रूटेडनेस, अगर आप लोग एक ही पैरामीटर से देखेंगे पूरे देश को नहीं चलेगा, लोकल उससे आपको अपने को करना पड़ेगा ना, तो उसके लिए व्यवस्था बन रही है। अभी ये सिस्टम शुरू हो रहा है, अभी स्कूल एजुकेशन का एनसीएफ आने वाला है, और बुक्स जब बनेंगी तो बुक्स के अंदर इस तरह से होगा कि आपको फर्क लगेगा ही नहीं कि ये जब अभी एक जेंटलमैन ने भगवत गीता की बात की, उपनिषद की बात कही, तो ये वहाँ तक आते आते पूरा कंसेप्ट क्लियर हो जाएगा, और इस तरह से होगा कि वो अलग से सब्जेक्ट ना पढ़ करके टोटल एक साथ मिल करके एग्जाम्पल देंगे ना हम, जैसे मैथ्स के एग्जाम्पल देना आपको, हो सकता है ऋग्वेद के कौन से सूक्त का हम एग्जाम्पल दें, कितने उसमें लेटर्स, कितने अल्फाबेट्स हैं, क्या है, इस तरह से उसको जेल करेंगे। ऐसा भी
लेदर सेक्टर स्किल काउंसिल से है।
तो ये जो आइडिया है, ये आइडिया जो है टोटल, ये सबसे पहले तो माइंड सेट को चेंज करना है कि नई सिस्टम को स्वीकार करें, और उसके हिसाब से बच्चे की जो लर्निंग है उसको लोकल उससे कनेक्ट करें। रूटेडनेस इन इंडिया कैसे आएगा, कल्चरल रूटेडनेस कैसे आएगा, अगर हम एक जगह से सारी चीज़ चलाएंगे और एक ही बेंचमार्क दे देंगे तो नहीं चलेगा ना।
क्लियर।
हाँ, इसलिए जो परख है, परख के माध्यम से अगर असेसमेंट में हम उसको एकोमोडेट करते हैं, उसको रिकॉग्नाइज करते हैं, तो ये प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाएगी आपकी।
बीवॉक का भी नाम चेंज हो रहा है, वो जो वॉक वाला जो है ना वो खत्म कर रहे हैं। नो, वेरी सून यू विल सी द न्यू रेगुलेशंस। UGC is already issuing it, so that confusion will be over. Would you like to say? So thank you so very much. देखिए last question. अच्छा, कोई डिफरेंस नहीं है, दोनों यूजीसी के नीचे ऑपरेट करती हैं। स्किल यूनिवर्सिटी में पहले ज़माने के हिसाब से पहले ज़्यादा वोकेशनल कोर्सेज ऑफर होते थे, अब बी वॉक जिसको हम कह रहे हैं, लेकिन अब धीरे धीरे करके बी वॉक को भी या तो बीएससी वोकेशनल या बीए वोकेशनल कर रहे हैं, तो इसलिए कोई डिफरेंस बचेगा नहीं। जी जी Okay, no, let me quickly answer the second question first. No, we are working on something called OEM credits. Like, for example, there are credits from, say, Microsoft or Oracle or IBM, such companies which are international companies. तो उनको कैसे credit system में लाना, that has already been done. We have already started that. So NCVT is doing it. So that can be done, but they'll have to approach us with the entire curriculum and all that. उसके ऊपर अभी बात हो रही है.
We already have the twinning, joint and dual degree regulation, and under that you can send your students, they can earn the credits and come back and bring those credits.
So thank you so very much. I'm very thankful to all my panelists, and thank you to you all.
So we would be felicitating all of you as well. So if you could wait for 5 minutes, just the memento we'll. Once they photograph. To the chair and panelists, just 5 more minutes because we'll be presenting mementos, a token of appreciation from our side. And I know to process so much, you need